to another episode of Isimo Podcast. He said Petecast. He's trying to say Patreon.
I almost said a Patreon. It's because I thought we were gonna do like Tibetan throat, like oh.
We should do that. You want to do it?
Yeah.
Isimo.
It's my podcast.
Shout out to everyone that's here right now. If you don't know already, we have a Patreon. For $2 a month, you get an episode every week. For $5 a month, you get access to the Discord. And for $20 a month, you become a producer on the show. And you get a shout out just like this. Nat Milo, Alex Knotts, Amanda Oliveira, Amanda Pinedo, Angie Mora, Aparni Rani, Chacaron, Christian Alvarado, David Serato, DJ Moon, Eddie Bravo, Fantastic Fat Man, Gabby Ferris, Hector Cruz, Ian Anderson, Imperium Sloth, Isai Facio, Izzy Sandoval, Jared Dean, Kareem, Cassandra Murrow, Laisha Ashley, Daria, Michael Zuniga, My Little Jabroni, Nia Town, Osvaldo Silva, Pedro, Rafael Flores, Rosa Alarcon, Rosie Flores, Rowan Stamuerto, Serena, Susana Guzman, Susana Priego, and ZL Tino. Thank you so much for being a Patreon member. We just got done. We just did our live shows last night, dude. And I want to say thank you. I'll let you guys talk right now. I want to say thank you to everyone that came out. It was a great success. Don't look at me like that. And I had a great time. You guys have a good time?
Yeah, I had an amazing time. Thank you everybody that came. Shout out to Cholo Orange, to Introverted Funk, to Ray and Evan for taking photos, Joel. Josh Awad,
yeah, which may be first Egyptian on the show, dude. Another brown kind guy, dude.
Oh yeah, he's got really good Egyptian.
He's hilarious, dude.
His brown jokes are fucking hilarious.
But yeah, Josh Awad, thank you so much. I feel so bad for Josh because he was sitting there with the fucking tripod, holding
because
it
was so packed.
Yeah,
it really was.
Yeah, it was really packed.
Yeah, we had it was a full show, and I'm so appreciative of everybody that was able to make it. Obviously, it was on a Monday. It was, not everybody that wanted to be there could be there, but appreciate those that were able to make it, and for everyone else. There's going to be more. I was going to say, you were waiting for me to say something mean. Psych! No, I love everybody. Thank you so much. It's been a great first year, and I'm excited about the future.
Yeah, it was a Monday, so I know there's a lot of people that wanted to be there. Like I put it on the Isimo podcast post. It's like, in the future, there will be a lot more stuff, Yeah. No FOMO here, dog.
Yeah.
But Ryan was really excited about one part of the show last night where nobody
hugged me.
I thought you would be really happy about it.
I was. It was great.
Yeah.
Did anybody try to hug you?
No. A couple people when they were saying bye, but nobody So here's the thing about I have an etiquette for hugs. The thing that I don't like is the wraparound with the clasp. That's why I was I tell a story about it on the Patreon about how Melvin kind of jumped on the hug grenade for me.
Yeah.
Because this dude kept clasping on him, and I was I'm so glad that you stood in front of me.
Ryan's just sweating, watching this happen.
It's I'd hate that, dude.
I heard that Hug Grenade is playing Warped Tour this year.
Is that a band?
No,
fuck. Jesus Christ!
I need to laugh at things.
That was a fake as fuck laugh right there, dude.
Hey, what the fuck?
Fat Alberto.
That's how you sounded.
But yeah, we did a whole breakdown of the show on our Patreon for this week, coming out Friday. If you're listening to this on Wednesday, I already shouted out the Patreon. Shout out everyone that is on our Patreon. I wanted to start the show by doing something I already told you guys about.
Yes.
Yeah. So. Something that happened in my life recently. My brother just got COVID, right? Everyone gets COVID,
Yeah.
But the thing is, today's Wednesday, right? When this episode comes out.
Right.
I'm delusional. But no, today's Wednesday when the episode comes out. My brother got COVID before his graduation. He's a senior in high school.
Yeah.
So I wanted to ask the fans if they wanted to, if they could, send him a DM to his Instagram, which is Tom.is.neat. Tom is neat. Just tell them congratulations or something, because I can't imagine not going to my high school graduation, right?
Yeah. I feel so bad for him, because it's especially when you're that age, and fucking Tomas is fucking cool. Dude. I felt so bad when he told me that. Yeah, it sucks. Yeah, to not be able to walk. It's a big moment with all of your friends and stuff, and it's going to be delayed even further, because he's not only is he not going to be able to walk, but he's not going to be able to spend time with people and people are gonna fucking go on vacation and stuff by the time he like is able to come out of quarantine. So give him a shout out and send him some kind words.
Yeah, I mean he's brilliant, dude. He has a really high GPA and does so good in school. And so maybe if it was me, I wouldn't care if I walked or not, because I was, high school was different for me, right? Yeah. But I'm proud of my brother, and I want people to know that he's very smart. And he was on the show, and if you guys loved him, send him some love, whether through a DM or some sort of comment. Just I want my brother to feel accomplished. And I'm not saying he doesn't, but whatever I can do to help, I'm going to do what I can.
Definitely.
I love you, Thomas. If you're watching this, Cabron, you better watch all my episodes, dude.
Imagine you just get a message. Why are people reaching out to me?
He's like, why would you put me on blast like that, dude? He's out in public. He doesn't want people to know he has COVID. Just kidding. But yeah, if you guys do that, it would mean a lot to me, and I appreciate that. And thank you everyone that came to the show last night. Anyways, we wanted to talk about something Ryan wanted to bring up today. Is there an airplane? Is that like a fucking...
Somebody's dragging something.
Oh, okay. Go for it, Ryan.
Yes. So I wanted to talk about something that I feel like people don't always associate with like Latinos.
Yeah.
Which is like sci-fi and fantasy lore. Like I feel like when you think about the fans of that stuff, you kind of think of like British and American people.
Yeah.
Because of shit like Doctor Who. And so there's this whole like untapped potential for Latinos. Because I've seen stuff like flipping through channels of like, the Latino channels. There's like a ton of superheroes and like sci-fi shows in Mexico. And, there's stuff like Guillermo del Toro is really big in the fantasy world. Like he has stuff in Latin America too. And so I thought it would be a cool thing to talk about today.
Okay. So can I ask a question then?
Yeah.
Yes or no? I'm just kidding. You said yeah, but it was very quiet.
Yes.
Thank you for doing that.
Proceed.
Can you say another one?
Indubitably.
I don't know if that was warranted. What do you want to say, Dominic?
I thought you were going to do a Drop of the Hut impression.
Why? You're so mean to me.
That was a fat joke, dude.
It was not.
No, but here's the thing. That was the third fat joke today.
I have not said one fat joke.
It's not intentional, I know.
Yeah, there were 3 unintentional fat jokes, yeah.
Oh, because I did the Fat Albert laugh.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
That's Eddie Murphy.
Norbit.
The Nutty Professor.
Oh, yeah, that too.
That too.
So I wanted to ask, what is your favorite, if you can classify it as fantasy film or novel or comic book or anything like that?
Honestly, I have a few different ones, but in terms of like the context that we're talking about, I love the Hellboy series.
Okay.
The one that Guillermo del Toro directed.
Yes.
Because he kept something alive that I feel like you kind of lose... People lost interest in the last like decade or so, which is practical effects and like how realistic they can look if you put the time and effort into, like, all of his works have some level of prosthetics and practical effects, and they look amazing. Like even in what was that, Life in Water?
The Shape of Water.
The Shape of Water. Yeah, like most of the the face is a little bit CGI, but most of that outfit is completely prosthetic. Mm-hmm. It's amazing.
Yeah.
And
yeah, I really enjoy sci-fi practical effects.
Yeah.
I could do without CGI. I would like to see something that looks terrible, but you made it happen in like a small scale, There's math involved. You got to fucking figure out, like, for instance, Star Wars, the what is it called? The run that they do at the Death Star at the end of the movie.
Right.
Have you seen how they make that?
I have, but I don't remember.
They made a model of that tunnel for the Death Star, and they basically just had a camera
like
make it look bigger, but it's like a tiny fucking model.
Yeah, it's amazing. Did you?
Yeah.
One of my favorite facts about the Star Wars series is about the prequels, specifically Episode 1. Do you know what they used to make the sound effects for the pod racing?
I did know this, but not anymore.
They used an old fart machine.
Really?
It was like a windable fart machine.
Thank you. I'm gonna tell everyone this week.
So now, like when you rewatch a movie and one of the spaceships is going, it's like you can hear that it's supposed to be a fart. It was really funny.
Okay, so same question to you, Dominic. Favorite anything that could be classified as fantasy?
I feel like you know what's really funny is that I'm not super into fantasy things. Lord of the Rings I was really into when I was younger, but not like super. I don't know. It's just fucking cool. But I started reading the books. I was kind of. I think that's why I like D&D. Like I like D&D stuff, but I'm not a big fan of like fantasy stuff. It's really weird. Like people like would expect me to like The Witcher and like Elden Ring and like all of the. Blah, 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 blah.
Elden Ring is new, right?
It's a video game, yeah.
Yeah.
But like whenever there's like a fantasy video game or a movie or something, like if Lord of the Rings came out, like I didn't watch Game of Thrones. Mm-hmm. I tried to start watching it and I couldn't get into it. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I don't know what my tastes are like in these things, but I would say Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, Lord of the Rings
is cool.
I like Lord of the Rings because me and my dad connected over Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, me and my dad too.
I told you guys the story about wanting to go see Jimmy Neutron.
Yeah.
So like this is the day I became a man apparently.
Yeah.
When did Lord of the Rings come out? Like 2003, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so it was the Fellowship of the Ring had came out in theaters, but Jimmy Neutron came out at the same time, like same weekend kind of thing.
Yeah.
And back in those days, the weekend was like the time to go see movies. I went to go to the movies every week from like 15 to, you know, I don't know, 18, 19 with my cousins Chris and RJ. Shout out.
Back when it was like $4 a ticket.
No, they were like $10.
Oh.
Because I have all the stubs still at my house.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, so you're wrong. No, they were like $7.50. You could see the incremental jump, like $7.50, $8.50, $9.50, $10, $11.
I remember when the first time I paid $15 for a ticket, I was like, peace, dude.
I'm
never gonna watch a movie again.
You had to like go to matinees on Tuesdays to get it down to like $9.
Yeah, in my neighborhood there was the Terra Vista 6, and that was always $6.
I think there's a theater like that in Whittier that we used to go to. It was always $5 a person.
Yeah, which you know they're laundering money at that point. It's like, how are you getting away with this, dude?
Well, a lot of them just show movies later.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I was just kidding. But there's also like a $2 movie theater in the Valley. But they have movies that came out in like 2011, dog. They're
right. Like,
did you?
I remember I saw that one movie. I forget what it's called. Anyways, Unfriended. Remember that one? It was like a terrible horror movie that was all on a compuber screen. Very cool idea.
Like a new genre of horror.
Yeah.
All the social media horror movies I can't get into. Unfriended. Like, what was the other one? The Game.
What was the game about?
It was like a social media thing where like you had to be live and you had to do like all these puzzles and like you could die. I don't know. It was a really weird thing. I think it was based on there used to be this thing on the internet called The Game, and it was like a meme in like the early aughts, late 2010s. But I never understood what it was. It was just like you'd be watching a video and then somebody would start explaining the rules to the game, and then everybody would be like, "Fuck this fucking guy."
Oh yeah, it's like a trolling meme of like that's a little bit of a different thing. So the point of that is. The whole concept of the game is that the one rule is you're not allowed to think about it.
Oh.
So anytime someone tricks you, you lose the game. That's literally all of it is. And so people, it's like a kind of like Rickrolling, or it's like you'll be watching like a clip of the news and then it cuts to someone like you just lost the game. And like, because like if you don't swipe away right when he says you lost, then you lose.
That's so strange,
It's
dude.
a dumb, silly concept.
Okay,
but
I
it's
didn't
really
know
funny.
if you really liked it or not when you guys were explaining it. I'm like, this sounds fucking stupid.
It's stupid as fuck.
Okay.
But so many people know.
I don't think
it.
the movie I was explaining was the same
No,
thing.
the movie was more
okay.
like it was like a truth or dare challenge, like how kids
Truth
do
or Dare. That's what
challenges.
it was
Yeah.
called. It was, yeah.
I saw the ending to that movie. It was bad.
Yeah. What was the other one where fuck? It was like a twist on. Anyways, well, there's a lot of social media horrors now, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, so Jimmy Neutron came out, Lord of the Rings came out the same weekend, right? And I called my cousin RJ, who is 4 or 5 years older than me, which is like an eternity when you're a kid, right?
Right.
Yeah.
You
You're
know
like,
what I'm
this fool can buy alcohol. Like,
Yeah. When you're like 6 years old and you see, or when you're a 6th grader and you see 8th graders, you're like, Jesus Christ, I'll never be that big, you know?
yeah.
Like that thought.
I remember one time I was in 2nd grade
Yeah.
and I was in football and we would practice. We had flag football, but so that was the cool thing about being in flag football or like after school sports was that you got to like there's age groups. So then now I'm like fucking chucking and driving with the older kids, right? And I have a distinct memory. I don't remember what happened before this, but I have a distinct memory of one of the kids on my team. We were kind of like roughhousing, and like I went to like push him, and then he like grabbed me and like turned me around and bent my like he just like dropped me like real quick. Yeah. But I have a distinct memory of like when I hit the ground, he like walks away and he goes, "Never mess with the fourth grader."
That's great.
That's so funny to me.
That's great. Oh my God, that's hilarious, dude. Yeah,
the big man on campus.
So I was like, big cousin RJ, let's go watch Jimmy Neutron, baby.
Yeah.
And then when I said that, he started laughing. He's like, he's like, Lord of the Rings came out today, dude. And I was like, what the fuck? Why would you want to see that? I saw the trailers. I'm like, this looks boring AF, dude. Jimmy Neutron's out. And I guess I like cartoons at the time. But I love Jimmy Neutron. The 3D animation of it.
Because you have the same size head.
Yeah. You really loading it up like
loading up a chef's kiss?
A pistol? Pistol. Fuck you. That was funny.
It was funny, but I was trying to hold it in.
Dude, Jimmy Neutron's really... Patrick Stewart's in Jimmy Neutron.
Really?
He's the villain.
Oh.
Yeah, right? That like blew my mind when I found that out.
Yeah.
It makes it so much better to rewatch that movie.
Well, you got to understand. Let me finish the story, because I lost my love for Jimmy Neutron after seeing Lord of the Rings.
Aww.
My cousin told me on the phone, though, he said, today's the day you become a man. We're going to go watch Lord of the Rings, right? And I was interested in watching Jimmy Neutron, but guess what I was more interested in?
Being a man.
Being a fucking man, dude. So I was like, you know what? There's going to be a lot of blood. There's going to be a lot of knives, swords, right? Some arrows. Ew, blonde dudes, all my fears, right? Big ears, yikes, right? And so I told him, I was like, all right, let's go do this then. I don't know what I'm signing up for, but let's go watch it. And I was enthralled, dude. 3-hour movie felt like 10 minutes to me as a kid,
Yeah.
And then my dad came with us to go see Lord of the Rings. So for every Lord of the Rings that came out, me and my dad went to go see it.
Right.
And we don't really do much together like that, right?
Yeah.
So it was cool to have like Lord of the Rings movies come out and to go see it with my dad.
Yeah, me and my dad used to. Well, we would go see it with my dad too.
Yeah,
my dad was like really into Lord of the Rings when I was a kid.
Yeah, what's your Mexican dad's loving Lord of the Rings?
My dad's like a huge ass nerd, honestly.
This is actually something that I wanted to talk about. Where there's this thing I feel like with Mexicans is that like we love lore.
Yeah,
like I was getting into a conversation with a friend about Pink Floyd because he was telling me all this stuff about Pink Floyd. We were hanging out with, it was me, my friend Evan, and then our friend Devontae. Devontae's black.
Yeah.
And it's something that we think is ubiquitous. Like he doesn't get it. And he thought it was weird that he's like, man, the Mexicans really like Pink Floyd. Like, he's like,
yeah.
And he's like, what are you talking about? Everybody loves Pink Floyd. And he's like, yeah, but Mexicans love Pink Floyd. Like
another level, dog.
Yeah. And he's like, they're always talking about Pink Floyd and they're telling stories. And then I was like, oh shit, it like clicked. I was like, Mexicans like lore. Cause like, I feel like Mexicans don't like Pink Floyd just because they're a great band, or they love telling the stories about how they fucking rented out like that ancient Rome, like the Colosseum. What is it called?
The Colosseum.
The Colosseum in ancient Rome, and all the stuff that they did, like the fucking Wizard of Oz thing.
Yeah.
And it's funny because I was hanging out with Leon and Gio, and he said the same thing, like unprompted. He's like, yeah, dude, Mexicans love lore, dude.
Yep.
And I think that's why like sci-fi, fantasy, Lord of the Rings, I think that's why my dad loved like Lord of the Rings, because of that.
That's so funny because I just realized that there's this thing I've never noticed that like I feel like Mexican uncles do, where you bring up any celebrity of anything, like actor, musician, and they'll tell you any and all like unknown facts about that person that they can think of.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you like Freddie Mercury? Did you know that the fool was gay? Like, whatever they think, if they don't think you know, that they don't think anyone knows, they'll say everything.
Yeah. They're not into Pink Floyd as much as they are into the Pink Pig. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I didn't know that. I remember my homie Chandra. It feels weird saying it.
I don't know their name.
I haven't said it in forever. But Chandra took us out to the Pink Floyd concert because she had tickets. It was the Pink Floyd experience.
Right.
And I remember being there and I was like, this is the best thing I've ever been to. I never really went to concerts, right? And so they had the pink fucking piggy bank flying above us. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, how do they do this, dude?
Who made you?
Who made you? But yeah, I totally agree. That's probably why. Like, my dad started watching Game of Thrones and he talked to me about it. He's like, dude, it's Game of Thrones, dude. It's fucking dope. And I'm like, yeah, but I've already watched it 3 times, dude.
I will say there's one thing I don't like about Game of Thrones, and it is...
I feel like you told me this before.
No. It's something I kind of just realized about.
Oh, okay.
Is I don't like the country of Dornish. Is that what it's called?
The sand people, right? Or
because I just realized when you know the nationality of the actors that are playing the Dornish, they kind of just represent all brown people.
Yeah.
Like they have, Latinos in there. They had people from India that were Dornish. They had one woman. She was like doing an accent, like a Arabian accent, but she's like, she's English. And her daughter was like from New Zealand.
Yeah.
Like it was a bunch of different, just any brown person can get. It's like, these are just all it felt like they did it just so no one complained. Like these are all the brown people, just in case you fucking are wondering.
And by the way, one of them gets killed by gouging their eyes out.
Yeah. And also, all of them died the worst fucking way possible. Every single one of them. Oh, it's terrible.
Were you a Game of Thrones fan or no?
No, I just said that.
That's how it started.
It's a great show, dude.
I'm sure it was.
It still is, dude. Still is.
I'm never gonna find out.
Really?
I'll probably. I don't know. I like the Mandalorian.
Yeah, Mandalorian's sick.
Dope.
Pedro Pascal is Mexican, or is he?
I think, if I remember correctly, he's like of Colombian descent. I think he was raised in Mexico. I think he's half Mexican.
Somebody's gonna yell at us, so
Yes.
just
Someone tell it. I know one of them is Colombian. I don't know the other one.
Let me look it up really quick. Keep talking.
Yeah, no,
He might be
that's
Bolivian too.
and then like even I don't know, just like westerns too. Like my grandpa loved westerns because he loved Charles Bronson.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if your like elders would talk about Charles Bronson.
No.
Anybody that was Mexican, they would be like that. Like they would love somebody because they were Mexican.
Yeah.
And like Charles Bronson is half Mexican.
Yeah.
And then my dad was telling me, he's like, but he's racist against Mexicans. Like
Well, he's British, right?
Charles
No.
Bronson? No,
He's
I'm
Charles.
thinking of the wrong person.
You're thinking of the serial killer.
Yes.
Charles Bronson was the inspiration for this like underlining character in The Simpsons.
Okay.
A bunch of different guys were drawn the same way, but never had the same hair, and they all had the same voice.
Okay.
So, hey, Fetty, I got a movie for you. That guy.
Can you do me a favor and move forward really quick and then back? Okay, the blinds are messed up. Anyways, I think I have OCD. I have a bit with Ryan. Listen to the Patreon.
My dad used to take me to see all the Lord of the Rings movies, and he showed me the animated stuff. It's kind of funny because he would, at the time when Lord of the Rings started coming out, that's when my dad became born again. And in the book, the source material is actually like Tolkien is very Christian. And there's a lot of like allegories or metaphors or whatever for like Christianity. So that's one of the reasons why my dad loved it, because he would be like, the ring is like your spirit, it's like your soul, and and that's, he was like talking about how Dobby represents sin and stuff like that. And Dobby, what the fuck is his name?
Yeah, it's Harry Potter. Schmeagol. Yes.
Yeah.
See, but I'm hesitant to say that. Obviously, it is true though. Mexicans do love lore. But like people love stories,
That's what I was gonna say too. I mean, I know people love stories. I don't know. I think
you got a Shaq and Kobe duo, dude. You got J.R.R. Tolkien writing this shit, and then what's his name? I was gonna say Percy Jackson, Peter Jackson directing it, dude. That's like that. I wish they would do the Isimo story like that if Tolkien was still alive. They write a movie about us.
Ring, ring, ring.
I'm like, Peter, how good are you at writing, dude? So 3 guys, 2 fat ones and 1 weird looking one.
Wait, which one's
the weird looking one?
I just called me and Dominic fat. Ryan looks weird. Just kidding. No, I was calling me and Ryan fat, and I didn't know what to say. I said weird. The podcast is over.
I'm trying to think of what each of us would be in like a D&D setting.
Yeah.
Because I feel like off the top of your head, you'd be a fighter, but I feel like you'd be a wizard. But I just want you to go,
That would be an annoying D&D session, dude. If I was just casting spells and I was rolling dice based on the level of my sneeze.
It's a spoken component, so you have to say it. Sneeze.
And then if I roll a 1, it's like I had to sneeze, but it wouldn't come out. You know?
Yeah.
Just like little sparks.
I tried playing D&D. It's hard. I don't know.
Yeah, you have to pay attention.
No, I do pay attention really good, but it's hard. It is hard to like actually sit down and do that only, right? Especially when you're doing it. We did it over Zoom.
It's harder to do it over Zoom, especially when you don't have cameras. A lot of people don't play with cameras though, but it is hard because the timing. It is a game you have to play with people. I know that's like a huge platform that there's a lot of people that play offline. Or I mean online, because it's hard to get a bunch of people together regularly. So, but it is like you benefit from being in person. Like every time I've played in person, it's been much like when we were playing, I had a hard time like role playing stuff. Because you can't see anybody.
Yeah. And
I was like, man, I'm fucking bad at this game.
Yeah.
But I've ran games for my brothers and they were like, dude, you're getting too into this. Like, we can't keep up. Like, there was a character that I made that was like a shopkeeper. No, somebody's brother had died. And like Diego was like bullying this guy. And I'm like, I need them to like ask this character the right question so that they could like continue their journey.
Yeah.
But Diego decided to bully this character whose brother had just died.
He's like trying to intimidate.
He's trying to intimidate him into giving him information. And I'm like, Diego, he's mourning right now. And he kept calling him like big head and big eye. Like he was like saying that he had buggy eyes.
Yeah.
Because I don't know.
See, something that I would love to do, I don't know if there's a platform for us to do this on. I told you guys this story. I don't think I said it on the Patreon or on the podcast. Is about Battle Master. I told you guys about Battle Master.
You've mentioned it. I don't remember.
I used to play a game called battlemaster.org. It's a website when I was younger. And I used the same character that I used for Battle Master, which is Pico Nono Juarez, right? His name was Uncle Pico. And I was just a troll. Not a troll, but I was actually playing the game. But me and my friends were kind of trolls, right? Now, one of my, I guess, acquaintance, he wasn't really my friend, you know? I met him like 2 or 3 times, but we were more so like online presence kind of thing.
Right.
I didn't know who he was. I just knew what his character would do. He did something legendary. And I told you guys about this or no?
No.
So his character, I forget the name of his character, but the guy's name is Nadine, right? So, and I'm probably saying that wrong too. Anyways, so he created a character where he was trying to troll the whole realm, right? There's thousands of players, mostly in Europe, playing, right?
Yeah.
And it was a long con, dude. It was like a couple of years of this troll where he had to actually become. It's a big game, so like it's hard to control the realm in a way, right? So he got to the top of the mountain, and then he did some OOC out of character posts about how he was going through depression, right? Now, when he first started, listen, this is when we were kids, right? So this is not okay to do, but it did happen. Like all this stuff happened, right?
Right.
And I found out about it after the fact, the whole con, you know? But he had his Scream name, or he had his, what's it called? His username, or was like you put your real name in.
Your
like,
handle.
Gerardo Alarcon is my real name. And then your handle something different, right?
Right.
Right.
And then from that handle, you have your character names because you're allowed to have 4 to 5 characters in a realm, adventurers or nobles, right? I'm a super nerd. Everyone finds out right now.
I was like, where the fuck is all this coming from? Gerardo like makes fun of me for playing D&D, and he's like, you're a fucking adventurer or noble.
But this game though, it was more like, you know, play when you could only do so much in a day. So you'd play one time in the day and then go back to your normal life, come back to it, play, go back, right?
Yeah.
Whether it's like writing like things for the bulletin of the whole realm or whatever.
Right.
So anyways, his name, it was supposed to be Nadine something, right? Was somebody involved in the O.J. Simpson case, right? So that's what his name was, right? So now,
Casey Kasem?
Who?
Casey Kasem?
It wasn't a girl.
Casey Kasem's a man.
So it might have been that guy. He lives in Arizona. That's all I know.
Oh, okay.
Right. So, and for whatever reason, I don't know anything about the guy. I just know what happened, right? So he had his name be that when he first created his profile, right? And then like a year and a half or a year later, he and also, by the way, if friends are watching this and I'm getting this wrong, let me know, because this is what I remember it as. He got to the top of the mountain, right? He was basically a leader of a country or nation state in this realm, whatever. He had pool for the whole realm.
Right.
He started posting OOC posts, like methodically, of being like, this and that, like, why would she leave me type thing, right? Those kind of posts.
Yeah.
And then he would post as his character, saying that his character is going through the same kind of thing. But you're reading the OOC post and then his character post, you're like, this guy's going through it, dude. You know what I mean? And then so he had this long character post, right? For the guy that was the leader of the nation state. It was a long post, and at the very end, it was about him reading a book. It was beautiful. This guy's a great writer, right? But he's more of a troll than a writer. And it was like he was looking out his window. He's realizing that there is nothing to life. He's reading his book. You know what I mean? And all you hear is something loud closing. It could be the sound of a book or whatever, right? Yeah. Or whatever, like a gun or whatever.
Right.
Like he killed himself, And then he stopped posting, and everyone got worried. So they went to the guy's name, and they had police show up to this guy's house in Arizona, dude. And he learned about all this there. They were told, like, this game online, this person's posing as you or something, and so we just came to check on you because we thought that you killed yourself, dude. Crazy, right?
Imagine this fool. The cops showing up to KCKs themselves for the second time.
People keep doing this to you, dog.
That's so fucked up. I didn't realize what the troll was, but that's crazy. So he trolled a total random person for, like, without him knowing, for years.
Yes. And then he also had a different profile where it was him playing the game as Nadine.
Oh, so he would like use that.
All the chaos, fucking diabolical.
So what he did was he had that whatever Casey, right? Whoever the guy was. He had that profile, and he was putting all his time and effort into that, while also looking at his adventures and nobles in the other profile, but just trying to keep up so that he can have somewhere to go after this fucking con. So he conned everyone, and he stopped posting completely to this thing where he's like a leader of a country, Right. And then there was like a vacuum of power in the game, and where people were trying to take over this whole spot. Crazy. It's a great game.
It's like Game of Thrones.
Yeah, it is a Game of Thrones based, and it was around the time when Game of Thrones came out.
Oh, then I don't like it.
No?
I don't know.
Well, like, that's why it popped off so hard at that time. Because there was this game online that's purely text-based.
Sounds like Settlers of Catan.
Yeah, fuck that game. Just kidding.
I just wanted to say that.
I like text-based games.
Text-based games. Sorry, I just talked for a minute there, but that was... Dude, I was laughing for like a couple weeks about that.
Text-based games are the ones where you, like, type in the instructions and the character does it?
There's a couple... Yeah, there's a couple different ways.
It's basically role playing, and I think I associate that with what we were doing with Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah.
It's kind of the same thing. You basically Uncle Pico went around trying to make friends with everyone, and then he would go on adventures to get goods or whatever, and then bring it back to those people. And then when you get a certain amount of recommendations, your adventurer could become a noble. When you start as an adventurer, becoming a noble, you have a lot of prestige and honor. And as a noble, if you start out as a noble, you're limited on prestige and honor. So if you're able to convert your adventure into a noble, that's like... So I don't know what Dungeons and Dragons... I never really got into it as hard as you guys have.
I mean, there are prestige points that they use for... Because there's something called Adventurer League.
Yeah.
And Adventure League is like official D&D. Like, you go, you sign up, and they have to play like by the official rules. Yeah. And they have like a character that traveled with you. Like... Because a lot of... Actually, so like when D&D first started, that's how it was played. You had your character, so like any game that you joined, you would be that character. What do you keep doing?
I know, you look like a president, Dominic. You're like, any game that you join. Bill Clinton.
Yeah.
2024.
But I really enjoyed playing D&D. The issue is... the overhead that I have, and all three of us were kind of like, we're broke as fuck, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's the hard part about it.
Yeah, we got excited about something and tried to do it, and then as we were doing it, realized like it's not really doable at the moment.
But there's a foundation, and we could bring it back as soon as we're like, the wheels are turning more,
Yeah, definitely.
Because I really do want to play D&D, dude. I was killing it. Was I not killing it?
You were funny.
Yeah, dude. I was funny as fuck, dude.
There was this one moment that I thought was funny, that the DM created this So, not to spoil. Can I tell?
Tell the fucking rats. Tell them about the rats.
So we're fighting these like
mutated rats,
mutated genius rats, and they like. There's one that mind controls them into a swarm, and then there's this huge rat. And so we get into this tunnel. I'm the first person in, and the first thing I do is kill the two smartest ones.
Yeah.
So there's just this angry swarm of rats that don't know what to do. And then Gerardo walks in, and this is like the second fight we've been in.
Yeah.
And Gerardo was the one killing most of the rats in the first fight. So he's covered in rat blood. Yeah. And so instead of going after the guy that just killed their leader, they go after the dude covered in all of their friends' blood.
Yeah.
And I just love how that the DM orchestrated that. And I think you ended up overwhelmed and you passed the fuck out.
Oh, I just fell asleep?
No, your character was overcome by the
yeah.
rats, and you were like out of most of the fight.
Yeah.
And it was just the funniest thing.
Dude, I was so insulted, dude.
Because you got taken over by rats?
Because we started this in my restaurant, dog. We started this fucking campaign in my restaurant, and the first thing that happens, the restaurant has rats, dude. And
he's like, what the fuck? There's no rats in here?
Yeah. And then I was like, I didn't know how to tell the DM, like, I'm not okay with rats in my restaurant, dude.
I mean, I think
that's the hook.
That was the way to, like, that's your...
But you could understand Gerardo's sitting over here being like, what the fuck? There's no rats in here, dude, you know?
That's your character's, like, drive to get back at the rats, is they fucked over your business.
Yeah.
Now people think you have rats when you don't.
Yeah, it's so funny. And so the whole thing, the rats happened for 3 weeks, dude. And so I kept having to hear about these rats, and I was like, fuck! There's no rats in my restaurant.
You don't run a restaurant. But he said, Gerardo is a method actor.
Yeah, dude. And then I was getting upset too because people that worked at the restaurant, characters, were on their phone. You know what I mean? Like, she was like, oh yeah, I'm probably in the restroom on my phone. And I'm sitting over here like, what the fuck is she doing in there? I'm trying to run a successful restaurant right now, dude. And then I kept bringing it up like passive aggressively. Like, I don't know. Are you going to be on your phone when you attack the rats, you know?
The other favorite part was Dominic had these glowing marbles and he gave us all one of them. And I was like, how deep is this cave? I was like, how small is this marble? And he immediately picked up on it. He's like, don't throw that.
Yeah, I was like, I need to get those back. Imagine you gave somebody a fucking glowing orb and he just goes boop.
Yeah, no. It's like showing somebody your baseball card collection and he just tears it in front of you. You're like, what the fuck are you doing, dude?
Yeah. This is why I like D&D though, because like all this shit, like even that, like I didn't know, I thought you were in character, but I didn't know that you were like deep in character.
Oh, dude, yeah, no, the rat thing really bugged me. I was like, there wouldn't be rats here, and then it happened for 3 weeks. I'm like, we're dealing with something that's not real, dude, because there's no rats in my fucking restaurant.
D&D's not real.
No, I know.
If there's ever a character I want to carry over, it's the one Dominic made for me the first time we played.
What?
Reg, I think is his name, or Rev.
Reg, it was Reg. I had a character named Reg.
He's a Kinder, which is like a type of halfling, or they're like, technically they're a mutated form of gnome, when you follow the lore, but their body structure is similar to halflings, so they're given halfling stats instead. And basically the thing about their species is they're essentially like autistic with ADHD. Like they're very oblivious people. They're very kind of obnoxious people. It's like written, they don't have a sense of danger. Like they understand the concept of physical bodily harm, but they don't understand the concept of like making things worse.
Yeah.
Like it's written in their lore that when they're confronted by someone bigger than them, their instinct is to mock that person. Yeah, they love. That's why I love this character so much, because I want to fuck with like the enemy. Not, obviously not to the expense of the party, but it'd be really fun to act that out of like roasting the shit out of people.
Yeah.
Or like another thing is like they're really good at impressions, so there's like a mimic feature where you can like. So I'd love to like get in a fight with Gerardo and be like, oh no, like,
oh my god,
do your voice, cite a fight.
Hello. Yeah. So, anyways, yeah. In the future, we'll do something with D&D because it is fun, and I enjoy like we were talking about the lore of it, because then it's lore that you've created, and maybe something beautiful can happen. Dude,
I recommend to like all that things. Like it's you get to create your own lore.
Yeah, as long as you have like cool people that you're playing with, people that you like. Like we're playing with people I never met, but I liked all of them. They were all really cool.
They were really fun. We did like those meet and greets at first.
Yes.
It was awesome.
Yeah, dude. it is a really cool way to pass time. Like if you have time to pass, you know.
Yeah.
That was the issue with us.
we
It's
just don't have time.
Everyone has different schedules, you know, and getting together and trying to shoot something would be difficult.
Yeah, it's hard when you're like a freelancer, a gig worker, and like you set your own hours, and then dealing with people that have like regular 9 to 5s. Yeah. That's the struggle. That's the struggle of D&D, though, man.
Yep, we were playing on Zoom, and like I remember it was Leon's turn, and that fool was passed out. Dog, you remember that? Like here's him snoring. Like before it was his turn, Gio's like, "Is that somebody snoring?" Like in the middle of the game, and then it was like, "All right, Leon, so tell me you're gonna attack this or whatever," and he's just
that fool gets ripped on the skippables.
Yeah.
Because apparently he's done that like twice. Or I'm like a fucking putting him on blast, but like it's part of the skippables lore.
Yes, skippables. By the way, really quick shout out. I know we're like 40 minutes into the episode, but we've all done an episode of skippables, and I've listened to all of them, and they're pretty funny, dude.
That's one thing that I was going to talk about because it was a huge contention on my episode.
Yes,
because we were covering the gorillas, and Leon like fucking hates the gorillas.
Yeah.
And the whole time, every time a point came up, it was like, well, you gotta know the lore, to enjoy the gorillas. And so that was really funny that worked out.
Yep. And then I loved Cream as a kid, so I did Cream with them. And then by the time I finished the episode, it made me hate Cream.
I still love the gorillas, but you gotta love the lore too.
I did No Doubt.
Yeah, No Doubt for Dominic's.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude. I was laughing with Ryan's because he would go on tangents like he does here, you know?
Yep.
I was like, oh my God, dude, this is great, you know?
Yeah, because I'm autistic.
So I want to ask a question because, you know, something near and dear to my heart is Star Wars.
Yep.
What?
I made the noise.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going the thumbs down. What's your guys' favorite Star Wars movie?
Rogue One.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
What?
It's the best one.
Honestly,
You gotta understand how people do not agree with that.
Here's my theory about why people don't like Rogue One is that they think it's going to be another Star Wars film, and then it's not. And the reason I like Rogue One's concept so well is because it's as in the same universe, but it's its own story and it's its own style. It literally is not like the other Star Wars movies, and I like it. It's like Saving Private Ryan, but in space.
Yeah. So who directed Rogue One?
I'm not sure.
Because I love that movie. I wouldn't say Gareth Edwards. I thought it was Taika Waititi.
Taika Waititi.
Yeah. I love Rogue One, and I thought it was a really good movie. And then so you know, I have this thing where I just do what people say, and when people started hating on it, I was like, yeah, it wasn't that good, right? You know. But I remember walking out of the theater being like, that was really good. Same with The Last Jedi. At the end, when the kid like grabs the broom with the Force. And looks at the stars. I was crying, dude, and I was like, "This is the best movie I've ever seen." You know,
that part at the end was really funny. It felt like an ad for like Children's Health Hospital or something.
Yeah.
Well, I will say, like, I feel like because I also saw The Last Jedi, and I liked it. I was like, "This is a great movie." I had fun. The casino portion was it was just too long.
Yeah,
like you could have got in and got out, but. I thought the movie was great. I thought Rogue One was great, and I think I liked them because I don't hate Star Wars, but I don't care about Star Wars. Yeah. So I just like enjoyed it as a movie. The only part that I don't like about The Last Jedi was like Finn is fighting the captain or the what is it called, the corporal or whatever, and this was the worst line in the movie. But they do that thing where they clash and they're like pushing on each other, and he just goes, "Let's go, Chrome Dome." It's like, and that's like the equivalent of like Lord of the Rings, like, looks like meat's back on the menu, boys. It's just like, why are you throwing these fucking like sitcom lines in these movies?
Yeah. That was weird. It felt like a thing like that the producers like, you gotta add some more punchy lines.
Yeah,
especially that orcs say meat's back on the menu because that's like proposes that like orcs go to restaurants, like, and that some orcs like are not all warriors, like they have other jobs, and just like imagine an orc like going home to work after a rough day, and he's like, "How was work today?" He's like, "It was rough. We had to take the meat off the menu."
Oh, that's hilarious.
Luckily, some hobbits came in, and then meat was back on the menu.
My favorite thing, my favorite dumb line of that movie was the fighters are waiting to like charge this fortress, and Kylo Ren is walking across the desert, and his footprints are turning red because it's all white. And one guy's like, "Huh," and he reaches into this footprint, puts it in his mouth, and goes, "Huh, salt." I was like, the fuck? Why did we need to know? Even if that's kind of interesting, but why? What if it wasn't? What if it was just sand, you fucking idiot?
Yeah, it's a big risk you take.
He was like,
he's like, huh, disgusting.
Acid, and then he fucking
Acid, he dies.
the rest of the movie. What if it was like some weird animal's poop? You don't know what it is.
No.
You're on an alien planet. Don't just put things in your mouth.
that's like the number one rule that they tell you, like in survival, is to not taste things you're unfamiliar with.
Yeah. That's hilarious. My favorite. Did you already answer Star Wars favorite movie?
Oh, I didn't. Fuck, what was it?
This will throw us off with Rogue One.
Honestly,
it's great.
I agree. Diego Luna.
I'm gonna say this. As a fan of the lore, I've come to understand more about the universe, and I recognize why this movie is bad. But I don't give a shit because the parts I like about it. The parts that I liked because I was a kid when I saw it. And to children, it's still the greatest movie ever. So I'm going to say Phantom Menace.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Darth Maul is the shit, dude. Mm-hmm. I don't care about how bad it fits in with the rest of them. It was the coolest movie when I was little. And I will say this. Every kid I knew loved that fucking movie. Yep. So you know what? Jar Jar Binks was funny back then.
I like Phantom Menace.
I feel like rewatching it, Jar Jar Binks is a lot funnier than when people hated him.
Yeah.
I mean, it gets a little bit racist in some parts, but yeah he's pretty funny.
Oh, I mean, the movies are racist.
I will say, looking back, but it's also like you're watching it on modern televisions. The CGI is also a lot more noticeable.
Yeah.
And it looks weird.
I thought it was funny that they made Yoda still practical.
Yeah, that was funny. Dude, as a kid, I thought Yoda looked fucking weird. I did not like looking at him because everyone else is CGI and Yoda's just this weird fucking puppet.
Yeah.
It was creepy.
Yoda Londo over here.
She's like,
no offense,
looking away from you.
Oh, shout out Ozzy, by the way, for making this sign for us.
That was so cool. He brought it to the show.
That was a really good natural segue.
Yeah, my bad. I forgot completely to say it at the beginning. I also forgot to say at the beginning something else. I forget. I'll say it later.
Okay.
Yeah, I liked Rogue One. It had fart noises in it. Secret fart noises because of the.
Oh, that was Phantom Menace, not Rogue One.
Yeah, I'm talking about Phantom Menace.
Yeah, my favorite. But you said Rogue One right now.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't. No. When you asked me, I said Phantom Menace.
Okay.
You know what's wild? Did you notice when you watched the movie the first time, like when you were a kid, Jar Jar Binks' mouth moving when the guard is talking? So you know the whole thing about I'm going to do Jumper's Jump right now. You know the whole Jar Jar Binks theory that he was supposed to be the villain in the third movie?
Yes.
So because people look back at stuff and I was like, I always noticed that like his lips moved because it's like a random thing, but he like does this thing where he waves and like
he's using the Force. Yeah,
like he's using the Force, but it's very sly. Like they hint at it, and so like. But I always noticed that his mouth was moving along with what the soldier was saying, and I always thought that was weird as a kid.
Yeah,
and I was like, "What the fuck, dude? Why is he doing that? Like why would it?"
Jar Jar
Yeah,
Darth Jar Jar, dude.
Yeah,
that'd be tight.
That'd be funny.
That would have been cool, but everybody bullied him, and so they ruined the movie.
Like. Misa, the ruler of the universe.
I'm so scared of doing Jar Jar's voice right now. Misa, I want you to die. I do it anyways. I thought that would have been a cool twist. Dude, when I was a kid, there was this thing called Super Shadow. Have you guys ever heard of this?
No.
So I was let me just say out first before I say this, I was a super nerd, all right, playing Battle Master and looking at Super Shadow every day. Super Shadow was somebody that was closely affiliated with George Lucas, right? I'm sure everyone says that, right? But at the time when the movies were coming out, this is after the first one came out. I read the scripts for the second and third movie. And when I watched them, I was like, that's exactly what happened in the scripts, you know? So he was leaking information on supershadow.com or something.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
You do?
I remember the controversy or something.
Yeah.
Oh, there was controversy?
I don't know controversy. I just meant like, I remember that was the thing about there was leaks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
They
so he
referenced
wrote...
it in Fanboys, the movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I
that was
didn't
like
know
the
that.
whole thing.
So there was episode 7, 8, and 9 that he had also had on the website. And you could scroll through the whole... I think for those, it was just more of a synopsis, but it was still like 3 or 4 pages long.
Right.
Anyways, I don't know why I started on that segue there. It just reminded me of that. But my favorite Star Wars movie, for sure, has to be...
The Christmas special?
No. What is it? I'm so scared of saying which one it is because I love Star Wars so much. But I love the first and the second one, you know, a lot.
Are you saying 4 and 5 or 1 and 2?
4 and 5.
Okay.
Yeah.
Don't be a fucking idiot, dude. You know what I was saying, dude.
I will say though, to this day, as an autistic person, it's dumb that he started out of order.
Yeah. Well, he
That's
had no
weird.
intention of doing that.
It's weird.
Like the first one that came out, episode 4, when it came out, he didn't have episode 4 on it. It was the success of it that made him think like episode 4, 5, you know, kind of thing.
I remember the letters in the... I don't know. I'm just thinking.
No, they updated it when it was first
Yeah.
released. It was just called Star Wars: A New Hope.
Yes.
Before the concept of prequels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
But yeah, I love the first one. I love A New Hope. It's like bananas, dude. How I know that whole movie from
didn't-
front to back.
I didn't realize how much of like the Star Wars iconic like things are from A New Hope. I thought they were like spread out.
Yeah.
And then I watched Empire Strikes. I watched all of, for some reason, in the middle of quarantine, I watched all the Star Wars.
Yeah.
And because I was like, am I wrong or am I missing something here? And I was like, yeah, I guess it's not a good movie to watch when you're 30 in 2020. Like, it doesn't translate, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, I realized that all of the moments that I had in my head canon of like what is a good Star Wars movie was just in the first one. That's the only one I'd ever seen.
Yep. Except for like the Hoth, like
Well,
the
Hoth and then
snow fight.
the speed bikes, right? What are
in
they
the
called?
third one, yeah.
Yeah.
Or the sixth one.
The
Sorry.
sixth one, yeah.
Anyways, so I don't know what else to say about Star Wars other than I loved those movies.
great.
Yeah.
You ever watch Star Trek?
No.
No,
Next
what?
question.
Do you get into like do you get into like weird sci-fi stuff? Like I was into, you know, I'm into Doctor Who, and I was into like learning about Guardians of the Galaxy after the movie, the reboot.
Mm-hmm.
And then I just like went down this path of watching just fucking weird, dude. Like sci-fi in the 70s and 80s was absolutely batshit, and I love it so much. Like we watched this movie that kind of made fun of that concept, or called Gentleman's Bronco, and I thought that they were just being exaggerative, but no, like that's literally how sci-fi used to be, and it's like amazing. It's like like wacky and weird. Like before people gave a shit about the science of things, it was like a fusion of science and fantasy. It was like magical,
Yeah.
but on purpose. Like it was literally magic, and I thought that was really funny.
I thought it was really funny how you said it was kind of like waka waka.
I know. I was like, we gotta get it out. We gotta get it out of my
Yes, yes,
system.
yes. I was not gonna cut you off though because I'd have been rude.
Waka waka.
It was like Pac-Man. Waka waka. So what you're saying is that it was magical for the time, or it still has that? It still resonates as
Like,
magical.
The thought process it felt like was, what if like fantasy was in space, and it was really cool. Like, and the funny thing is like that's kind of where Star Wars comes from as well. It has that aura of it, and it also has like it was like fantasy in space, and they were also samurais. it was like covering all of the like niche genres of the time.
Yeah.
And that was really, that's why I like Star Wars so much. But it was also like have you seen Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy? I said
have,
Guardians earlier. I meant Hitchhiker's Guide to
Oh
the
yeah,
Galaxy.
okay. Jesus Christ. I have, but I saw it way back when it first came out.
Yeah.
You saw the reboot though, right?
The one that came out.
The movie that came out in America.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's based on a book and a show, but the show is absolutely like the show, instead of the head that you see in the movie, it's just a fucking prosthetic puppet on the side of him, and it looks really obvious for the time, but it's like really dope and funny.
Yeah.
Or what else did they show? He had like a weird accent because the actor was Scottish, but he was trying to sound American for some reason.
Yeah.
And it's like absolutely bonkers watching old sci-fi shows. It's really funny.
I think it's really interesting how like Star Wars, a lot of these fantasy movies take from like other genres. Like specifically Star Wars like incorporates a lot of like Western and Mexican like imagery.
Yeah.
And it would be cool to see more directors, but I don't know who's doing it outside of like Guillermo del Toro. I know that there's a lot of people that are doing it. I just don't know about it. But it feels like it's mostly like concentrated within Latin America.
Yeah, one that has a real defined style is like Robert Rodriguez.
Yeah.
You know?
Sure.
Which made me think like, does Machete have any lore to it? Or is that just like something that...
Well,
There's the extended universe. Like Machete is supposed to be connected to Spy Kids.
Okay, so he's connected to Spy Kids.
Machete, the movie, is the lore.
Yeah.
Like, because that character's in other films. And I think like he connects to, well, I don't know if it's the same character, but he does connect to Spy Kids. But he's also in From Dusk Till Dawn.
Yeah.
And I think one other one.
And it's From Dusk Till Dawn by Robert Rodriguez?
That was Quentin Tarantino,
Yeah.
Robert Rodriguez. They collabed on it.
Oh.
They co-wrote it, and then I think Robert Rodriguez directed it.
Yeah.
So that's where Machete comes from. He's not from Machete. Sorry, that's
Yeah.
where he comes from. He's not from like something written a long time ago. Some guy
Oh
was
yeah,
from Machete.
he's an original character.
Yeah, yeah.
But
Oh.
He used that character like to connect the universes. The weirdest for me is the crossover, because if he is in Spy Kids, he's Uncle Machete.
Yeah.
Which means like he's that dude, the inventor dude of the Spy Kids movies, is also a fucking murderer, and it's bonkers. I love it.
I've never seen it before.
Spy Kids?
No, I've seen Spy Kids. I've seen the shit out of Spy Kids, dude. I've never seen Machete.
It's really. I mean, it's good when you understand what it is.
Yeah, it's like kind of like Fast and Furious. It's like not going to be accurate.
Well, it's making fun. It's like a Grindhouse movie, but it's making fun of Grindhouse movies.
Okay.
Like there's this really stupid scene at the very beginning where he's trying to rescue this kidnapped woman, and it's a little graphic. She's naked, and she's like, "How can I reward you?" And she turns on him and like I think stabs him and incapacitates him, and then you just see her reach out and hear, and she pulls out a cell phone.
Ew.
Yeah, it's like stupid shit like that.
Jesus Christ.
It was a
Throughout the
Grindhouse movie.
Oh,
It's
okay.
a Grindhouse movie. That's the whole thing about those movies.
Yeah.
It's really,
Synonym of Grindhouse? Disgusting.
they're really dumb, like to the extent that they go with stuff like that.
Yeah.
Robert Rodriguez put out, no, is it Robert? He's the guy we're talking about, right?
Yes,
The
that's what
director.
we're talking
Yeah, yeah. He made a movie called, I think it's called 2119, but it's a movie starring John Malkovich and a bunch of other people, and it's called The Greatest Story You'll Never See or something. So the release date is 100 years after it was made. So it was like made in 2019. That's why it's called 2119. So it was made so that anyone that was like alive when it was made will be dead by the time it gets released.
Oh my God.
It's creepy.
So it's made already?
That's
It's
some weird
made.
Back to
It
the
just-
Future shit.
They're just not going to release it for 100 years.
What the fuck?
Yep.
By Robert Rodriguez, or you don't know?
I'm pretty sure it's Robert Rodriguez.
Jeez, that's crazy.
Yeah.
I can't stop thinking about Spy Kids being a part of Quentin Tarantino's universe, dude. Is that true then? Because everything that Quentin Tarantino makes is basically in his own universe.
Right.
So you mean to tell me that there's kids?
So I would say Till Dusk Till Dawn connects the two universes. Robert Rodriguez has his universe.
Yeah.
Tarantino has his, and technically the crossover would be Dusk Till Dawn.
Jesus Christ, I feel bad for those kids.
Junie.
Junie? Oh, my chair's so squeaky, sorry.
I met that dude once.
Oh, the
When I
boy?
was- yeah, when I was working at a tea shop, he was like an adult. He was like hoping no one would recognize him. He kept tucking his hat down, but then also no one recognized him but me. I felt really bad.
You're like, can I get a hug?
No, like I was watching him. I could tell he was trying not to be noticed. And then I was like, "Hey, did you see Spy Kids?" And everyone said no. And I was like, "Fuck! Nobody else knows who you are, and I feel bad
Oh my God. That's terrible.
because you don't have to hide."
I mean, you don't have to hide. I wonder if he gets recognized in other places. I don't know. Or is it like a thing where it's like you're trying to hide, but you're actually calling attention to yourself because you want to be recognized?
Yeah.
Yeah.
that was the thing. It was fun. This is like a little aside at the show because like everybody was getting like let in.
Yeah.
Because I like put the show together and like I'm doing all the checkpoints and stuff, and I'm just like I just want the show, like I want the doors to open, and then when they open, I was like expecting like a flood of people to be like, oh my god, hey, what's up, guys? And then it's like people were just like walking past me.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh man.
Oh man.
Yeah. But I was like, it's cool. It was like a little thing. People are shy. Everybody talked to me after the show.
It's funny too because it's kind of enhanced, I believe. Tell me if I'm wrong, because a lot of people would tell me that they're nervous or they don't want to say hi, and like we attract those people because of Ryan, right?
I think both of us, me and him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say mostly because of Ryan. At least the people that I talk to.
The people that
because like they would say hi to me, and then I was like, "Oh, do you want to say hi to Dominic and Ryan?" They're like, "Yeah, but I don't want to bother him. I'm just like this and that." And then that's when I walked over to you guys and was like, "Hey, this guy wants to say hi," you know?
Oh yeah, I mean, I'll put this out there. Like, it doesn't even need to be a live event. Like, if you see me out in public, like say hi. That's why I kept the green hair. Like, truthfully, I mean, it's an egotistical thing too, but. I was like, before I started dyeing my hair, people didn't come up, and then it's like gives them a talking point. But I'll put it out there. Feel free to say hi. Be respectful. Don't like try to chop my head off. That wouldn't be nice.
It's so funny. I went to dinner with my girlfriend and her family at Olive Garden. Yeah. Free breadsticks. Gross. Okay. Anyways, and when I went home, somebody messaged on the Isimo like, I just saw you at Olive Garden. That's more creepy than just saying hi to me. It's like, I know where you're at, fool, you know?
Yeah, that is, yeah. You know, some moments are...
I mean, I'm not trying to hate on that person either.
No, I
thought it would be funny if I said that. But Ryan didn't laugh, and that's my goal for every joke I make.
That's funny because it is a thing where it's like you don't want to be rude.
Yeah.
To like go up to somebody.
Yeah.
Which is a good instinct to not go up to somebody while they're like eating with their family.
Yeah.
But then just text them about it later.
I'm like, yeah, but my girlfriend's family would have been like, damn, this guy's cool, you know?
Yeah, that happened to me one time. Somebody...
I'm joking. Don't think that's just something I said. Nobody laughed. It makes me... Sorry, what, that happened to you when? Sorry. I don't want people to...
It's not your fault. I did a rude thing and I was like ready to say what I was going to say. I was just like, waiting for you to finish. I'm sorry.
You're good.
No, I was at a bar. At a show, my friend's show, and somebody recognized me, but they messaged me later because they were like, "Was that you? Were you there?" Like, I didn't want to say. I was like, I was too embarrassed to come through. Or whatever. I was like, "Yeah, I was there. Say hi, dude."
But yeah, so sorry, we were talking about
got on a tangent. Yeah.
Like, I think we're all out of it. I feel like what is it called? Like, kind of numb my whole body because I fucking passed the fuck out last night.
Yeah,
after the show.
Yeah, it was a busy weekend getting ready for the show, and then we did the show, and
then we record on Tuesdays. So
yeah, that was exhausting, dude. My lips hurt.
What?
The bags.
Oh, kissing the bags? Oh my god! It would be funny if you said I'm kissed on the bags so my lips hurt.
Yeah,
I was expecting you to get...
I was like, what did you do last night,
you
Ryan?
watch the show?
Like, why would you say my lips hurt? What did
I don't
you
think
do?
anyone... Yeah. I know, I was like, what the fuck did you do last night?
Like, Ryan, we know we're recording this, right? Like,
okay, comment if you knew what Ryan was talking about when he said my lips hurt. Also, yeah, we didn't talk about the gift bags.
Yeah.
Like, there was a bunch of stuff in there, so...
me and Dominic stayed up till like 5 a.m. making all the stickers.
Yeah.
The part that I'm gonna either really like or really hate is the concept that everyone was going for the candy first, because then they won't see the rest of the stuff until they get home in light.
Yeah.
Because there was the teeth and there was the little card, and either
mustard
that
packet.
or they're just gonna chuck them right away.
Yeah. I wonder if anyone used the mustard.
That's what I was joking about the whole night. I was like, we should have got hot dogs. So people could use the mustard.
Yeah.
Forgive me if I am incorrect because I was a little bit drunk last night. Spoiler alert, I drink. But no, I think it was Jazzy. She came up to me and she was like, I was so excited when I saw the mustard in the baggies because she pulled out her purse and she was like, because I love mustard. And
Oh my god.
And I was gonna say I had told her but I didn't do it. I was like, yeah, when I go on stage I'll tell everybody to give their mustard packets to you. And she was like, I'll use them.
Oh my god.
That was so funny.
Oh, Jazzy.
And I was like, you could take the heat off of me because I don't eat mustard.
You're like, we actually need a guest next week. You're trying to get her on the podcast so we can call her Mustard.
Actually, I have a whole 200 other packs that I didn't use for the goodie.
Really?
No.
Oh my God.
That's his personal stuff.
Yeah, personal
Fuck up, Brian.
Is it not food?
It's not.
Okay. I'll give you the chance. Food.
I like milk.
But yeah, we had. You know what's funny? I want to say like, yo, trust your mothers and trust your girlfriends because like they have good ideas that we just don't fucking think about. Like I was like, people are not gonna want candy in the bag. Like people don't want chips.
Yeah.
Like, you know, because we were just gonna do stickers and a couple of like gimmicks.
Yeah.
And then both of them were like, you should put candies in there. Like,
yes.
And I was like,
my girlfriend bought the candy and turned buying my new best friend Jarito right here. Dude, and I'm never going to let him get demolished like other piñatas, dude.
Yeah, my mom told me that idea. I was like, that sounds fucking amazing. Like, I was trying to help her think of more snacks because she already thought of, off the top of her head, the Cheetos. She thought of the Cheetos and the Masapan, and I thought that was really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I was trying to think of more snacks. I couldn't.
She got a couple.
Thought of all of them. It was really good.
Yeah, like my girlfriend put Duoline, I think, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Duvaline.
Yeah.
And there was the salt packets.
Yep.
My mom thought that was. It was really good.
It was great. And in the future, we'll be doing a live podcast, and I hope we have a bigger turnout. You know, we had a huge turnout for this show, which is awesome.
Yeah.
I can only imagine what it's like when we do a live podcast. And it's kind of intimidating in a way, but I hope you guys show up.
Yeah.
So sorry for like the low energy of this episode. Was the energy low?
I think it was fine. I think we are tired, but I feel good
so
about
tired,
it.
I
think there's a lot of fun moments.
Ryan's got stains on his shirt from last night.
Stop it! Why do you do that? You give me so much shit about calling you guys out, and then you point things out like a croc wearing.
You wear Crocs too.
Yeah, not today. Prove it, bitch.
Prove it, bitch. That was hilarious.
What was I gonna say? Oh, every time I was like feeling low on energy, I just went da 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 da, and I felt that.
Are you guys ready to wrap this up?
I think so.
I'm sorry, Ryan. Do you feel like we talked about fantasy? I don't want to just like throw this episode away.
Yeah, it felt good. We talked about stuff I wasn't expecting from you guys. I loved it.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, I liked your stories, and I liked my stories.
And I liked my stories. Say you liked my story. What the fuck?
Well, it's because you went into this knowing what you wanted to talk about, and like had all those feeling self-conscious. So I'm trying to.
I just want to make sure that we did what you want to do with fantasy.
Yeah, I mean, I feel excited. I feel like this is going to resonate with a lot of people because, again, you know, people don't think about Latinos liking extra stuff like Latino emos or you know what I mean.
And full transparency, before the episode started, we tried not to talk about representation. So if that's what you wanted from us, we tried.
I just didn't want us to focus on it the way we have because everything we needed to say about this stuff we've said before.
Yeah, every time we talk about pop culture, we start talking about representation. Yeah, and it's like we wanted to just for this one just tell like the stuff that we like. Yeah, and actually, if you know about any like Latino filmmakers that are doing like sci-fi fantasy stuff, definitely like hit us up there and recommend stuff. People were recommending stuff in the film one when we were talking about Wedos and stuff. Yeah. So I fucking love that stuff.
And I need to look at it again so I can shout it out. But some dude actually sent me a list of Mexican comics to check out, Mexican superheroes, and I want to talk about that next.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tight. Well, yeah. I really feel out of it right now. Sorry, guys.
You're okay. I think it's been fine.
Yeah. I'm gonna make more coffee. But in the meantime, from us at Isimo Studios, don't fly.
It's my podcast.